In this lesson, we're going to continue practicing equations with word problems. I have 4 questions here, but I'm just going to do one of them to set us up. Now, whenever we have equations, word problems, I want us to keep in mind our steps. So, we always want to define our variable. We always want to write the equation. Then we are going to solve the equation using inverse operations. And then lastly, you're going to write a sentence with the answer you got so that it makes sense. So we have 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is define our variable. We're going to start with number 2. Lara is selling teddy bears from the Student Council's Valentine's Day fundraiser. Lara sells 40 red bears, and she also sells some pink bears. She sells 59 teddy bears in all. And whenever I see in all, that kind of sounds like a total. So I always like to write that. Okay? Write and solve an equation to find the number of pink teddy bears. P, Lara sells. So they told us to use P for our variable. So P is standing for the number of pink bears. The amount of pink bears. And remember, this isn't the cost of them. This isn't how many had anything else. It's just the amount of pink bears. Okay, so we defined our variable. The next thing we're going to do is write our equation. Sometimes it takes mapping it out to do our equation. So I'm going to map it out because I know Lara sells red bears and pink bears. So in my head, I'm thinking the red bears plus the pink bears have to give us the total. And I know those were keywords in here. We have red bears, some pink bears, which we know now is P, and we've said that this is the total. So we have mapped out our information, and we're ready to put our equation on our paper. So our red bears, or Lara's red bears, which is 40, plus the pink bears, which is P, equals the total bears she sold, which is 59. Now, in this situation, the P doesn't come first, but that's totally okay. We have 40 plus P or P plus 40. We can flip-flop it if we want. The 40 is positive. It's a positive number. So we are doing that inverse operation, not the opposite of that one, which is the same. What we're going to do is we are going to start. So we have the equation. Done. We defined our variable. Done. Now we're going to use our inverse operations to solve. So we're going to subtract 40 on both sides of our equation. And we're left with P equals 19. Okay? So we solved our equation. All this yellow is the solve by using inverse operations. And then our last step, done, we solved. And our last step is the sentence. Okay? Our sentence here is going to say, Lara sold 19 pink bears. No need to make it complicated, just in the context of the problem. What happened? What did our answer mean? Okay, so we defined our variable, we wrote our equation in the light purple, we solved in yellow, we had our answer also in yellow, P equals 19, and then we took that and wrote it as a sentence to make sense.